Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to persuade you into a world with less almonds and more water. As Wendell Berry said once, the earth is what we all have in common. So it's our duty to preserve what it gives us. This presentation will discuss the actual scenario of this industry, its environmental impact, and an alternative to almonds. Quite a few of you may consume almonds. Maybe you substitute your milk with such, and you might even enjoy this nut I'm talking about. But let's talk about efficiency, or in this case, inefficiency. For one single almond to grow, it takes 1 gallon of water. Does it still seem worthy? Hold on, there's another fact. Closer to 80% of the almonds produced in the world come from California. Yes, that's the state that's facing wildfires and a drought crisis. But to farmers in the region, that doesn't really matter, since money talks. But if you want to substitute almond milk from your diet, for instance, what do? Well, today you have quite a few options, such as coconut milk, almond milk, soy milk, oat milk, hemp milk, and there might be even others I'm not sure of. Specifically, I'd like to highlight coconut milk. It's just one of the most sustainable fruits that we can produce right now, and it assists with erosion prevention in some areas because of its strong roots. And back to this point, you might still be convinced that almond is a superfood, but not really. It's worth mentioning that it's not really even milk according to the USDA standards, since they describe milk as a lacteal liquid obtained from a healthy animal like a cow. And from a gourmet point of view, almond milk is not really usable like other milks, since it doesn't offer that creamy texture and thickness that milk is known for. And if you were looking to put more protein into your diet, just compare the labels between cow milk and plant-based milk, and you tell me which one you go with. Now let's talk about this environmental impact, right? Well, California is running out of water, and it's mainly due to the water-heavy crops that we're producing in large scales. If you look at this chart provided by the U.S. Drought Monitor, you can relate the production of almonds in the central region to a bigger usage of the groundwater, or shortage in this case. And you might think, well, California is in the coast. Can't we just get salt water? It's infinite, right? Yes and no. First of all, transporting salt water is not viable yet, wouldn't be cost effective. And if you just sprayed crops with salt water, it would kill everything. But you might even think that we could just process it through desalination. Well, that's also not cost effective just yet. Now let's talk about another solution. To prevent an environmental catastrophe, it depends on you and I. What you water today, future generations harvest tomorrow. And abusing these aquifers could lead to an even worse drought schedule to these critical areas you visualized earlier, and you probably have the knowledge to determine that water is essential to our living. Now, since banning almonds is out of my control and yours, what we can do is fight and impact this industry by not consuming. If no one buys a product, they will stop making it eventually. Now, imagine you were locked in a box for 3 days. Would you choose one almond or water? In this case, a gallon, since they're equal. Yeah, I'm sure you'd pick water. Now, let's say we repeat this question on a global scale and we think about what's best for the earth. It could just simply cripple this industry. And as someone who wants the best for my children in the future, I don't necessarily hate you if you like almonds, but all I ask is that we reconsider our everyday choices.